Hello students, this is Faizan Mirza. We are discussing the topic of immunity. When we are talking about immunity basically covers up two basic things. The internal defense, which is the primary aim of the immune system. Before we jump on to internal defense and the immune system and how it's working, we need to just realize that there is another defense system in the body, which is a generalized external defense system. This generalized external defense system basically is against anything and everything. For example, your skin, your HCl in the stomach, there are tears, there are enzyme lysozyme in the tears. You have a mucus lining along your epithelial tract and your epithelial cells, the tissues which have epithelial lining. So mucus lining, mucus is present all over them. Epithelial cells themselves are a barrier for the pathogen to penetrate, preventing them to penetrate through. And blood clotting is also all these are just the examples of how your body is having generalized protection, and this is external defense. External defense just means that the pathogen is not yet in the tissues. Let's suppose it reached the tissues. Then you have the internal defense that need to work, and this is your immune system, and this is very specific. It's highly specific. It is specific against the antigens. So antigens are the structures which actually evoke an immune response. Antigens involve the cell surface markers, and these cell surface markers are actually glycoproteins. You can recall from cell membrane that antigens, which are cell surface markers, are biochemically the glycoproteins, and these are the identity of a cell. What do you mean by identity of a cell? All the antigens present in all the cells of your body, they are your self antigens. So no immune response is generated against your own body cells. But the moment you end up having a non-self antigen, which means an antigen from an outside source, which can be a transplanted organ or a disease causing bacteria or a virus or a fungi or anything that is foreign to this body, the immune cells will recognize it as a non-self antigens. These glycoproteins on its surface will be non-self, and these are the antigens which will evoke an immune response. And once the immune response has been evoked, this is the specific immunity that you end up having, and this is actually the internal defense. Cells of immune system are basically two. Number one, phagocytes, and number two, lymphocytes. So first of all, you need to understand what neutrophils are, what lymphocytes are, and monocytes are. What are these? These are just the categorization of these phagocytes and lymphocytes. So if you are discussing phagocytes initially, so phagocytes, these include neutrophils and monocytes. Neutrophils are the maximum number of cells present in your blood. These are your maximum number of white blood cells are neutrophils. Monocytes are also present in your blood, and these are your phagocytes as well. Monocytes can be converted to macrophages. Monocytes, neutrophils, all of these are phagocytes. Whereas lymphocytes are cells which produce antibodies, and they are the cells which help in the immune system. So if you try to visualize them on a blood film, so this is the blood smear shown to you. You can see numerous red blood cells here. Together with these red blood cells, you can see these white blood cells. So these three white blood cells are basically these two types of the cells of the immune system.